Hey, we're in Laie, and we're gonna show some clips of these guys, Uncle Sai and Auntie Kayla. These are the stars of Laie. There are many stories in the islands about how this gesture came about. If you go to town, there's like at least 10 stories. And so our approach in making the picture was to do a whodunit, because so many people claim to have created it. Out in this side of the island, this group of people know a very, very deep story.
It was very, very important that we tell the story, and everybody knew that it came from here. Everybody knew that there was only one man here that actually really did the shaka, but little did he realize that how important it was going to be in the future. And so, you know, only because he lost his 3 fingers.
And so we actually play this story backwards in time in the movie, and you see all the different other theories. And each theory goes back further in time so that they're trumping. It's a bigger and bigger story. So this particular story about Tutuhamana is the oldest story. It dates back to 1912. It's over 100 years old. So, Auntie Kayla, I want to ask you, what was your favorite thing about making Shaka a story of aloha?
It's getting the story out right. It's letting people know how we help, you know, and why it's important. Because this is not a gang slang motion, you know, like most people thought it was. And so just getting out the right information and thanking all our kupunas that have gone on, and how much they must be appreciated to know that this sign was meant to be loved by everybody, the aloha spirit.
Yeah, 100%. Well, actually, so Auntie told me first thing straight out of the block. She says, Steve, you need to help me tell this story because the keiki, the kids, don't consume a story the same way our generation did. Like, our generation would consume Uncle Sai's chants, or Auntie Kayla's hula, or Uncle's songs, right? Because that was the Hawaiian way of doing things. But in this generation, the kids are like all on social media, they want to watch movies, they play video games. And so she's like, how do we imbue aloha to the next generation? And so I got drafted, and I'm glad I did, because I got this whole great family. We're just finishing negotiation for distribution, and we're hoping that it'll be on most streaming platforms this summer. We have 2 very large distribution companies that have put down written offers. This is a very good sign. And you know, documentary is a very difficult product to sell in the open market. We made it because we're a nonprofit. So we make film because we think it's the right story. We're trying to preserve and share aloha through this story. And this community is really the living, breathing truth of aloha. So it's super cool to have like these gigantic distribution companies interested. We have an agent, like the very official way, and he was blown away by the film, so he wanted to represent us. We also have a curriculum series. There's an organization called Choose Love Movement out of New Jersey that has partnered with us, and we did clips out of the film that go with class exercises. So that's doing really well, and it's in all the Hawaii public schools now as a pilot. And if it does well here, then they're going to push it out to their system across the... By the way, our nonprofit, through this picture, we filed a bill with the state legislature last year, and we got the gesture Shaka declared the first gesture of any state in the union. So this is the Hawaii state gesture now, the Shaka. And it's because it emanates from here. We wanted to protect it because there are other states like California surfers, or there was a move in Nevada to do it. There was also one in Texas. Because you know, Texas Longhorns, they do this. Everything's big in Texas, right? What's bigger than this? That's bigger. Of course they would want that. So we protected it for the state and the actual aloha meaning behind it. There's really no narration. It's just Auntie and I sitting at this table putting together this scrapbook of I call it the crime board. But that crime board scene, we did it at the very end after we had all the stories, and we had actually printed off a lot of pictures from the shots. And then we had all the people that had something to do with the lineage of the story, and all the newspaper articles and all this stuff. There's like 600 images on this giant bulletin board. And so I had all these pictures, and I sat down in Auntie's shed, and I said, Auntie, we're going to make a big picture about the Shaka. And she goes, oh, really? Okay, fine. We sat there for 7 hours and we did one single take. So the Shaka Film is part of this greater movement called Project Shaka, and we're doing a trilogy of Aloha films. So the Shaka Film is the first one. The 100th is the second one. There's one on Hawaii food, which is going to be the history of food in Hawaii. I know there's going to be some interest in this community to participate in that.
And I think that's one of the reasons why it's very successful, is because the people were real, and it did happen, and that when they did the commercial part, everybody did it because they know that the Shaka really meant a whole lot, you know. And so I really feel that that the Shaka, it was time for it to be known.